Hello, hello.
Oh, okay.
Hey, what's up, dude?
I'm all right. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Can't complain. I'm ready to. You said you're a Protoss. Ready to coach some
Yeah.
Protoss. Okay, Impri just got excited. That dude is like fiending for a replay right now. I know he is. Um, but yo, dude. Okay. So let me know really quick. We'll get it started. Let me know what league you are, and obviously I know what race you play now. But and then kind of let me know as well, like your a play style you want to kind of improve on, or if you have an idea about what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So currently I'm Diamond 2,
Okay.
and overall I would prefer a macro play style,
Okay.
and I kind of like this old school stat-esque playstyle of where basically you just macro and react rather than be aggressive.
Okay.
Uh, but I feel it depends on the matchup. Right now, where versus Terran, it's most of the time, even when you don't really micro too well, you can just overpower in Diamond based on macro alone, similar as in your B2GM series.
Yeah.
Uh, but as for Zerg, they grow too fast, and it feels like unless you actually do some damage, they just outgrow you and basically starve you without letting you take your whatever fourth or fifth base.
Yeah. That's very true. Uh, Zerg definitely. I feel like the way Protoss can throttle Zerg, if you're not going to be doing any type of drone harassment, is your build has to have AOE. Like it has to have either Colossus, Disruptor, or a Templar.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Lately, I've been trying to. Well, I guess I've been experimenting with like light adapt pressure into like disruptors, and then just to hold off the follow up push, because usually it's like if you deal damage, they make roaches, then they try to push your third,
Yeah.
and then you basically hold it off with disruptors if you're lucky, and if they don't overwhelm you, and then I try to usually switch into air toss, Skytoss, I guess, and from there on, it's usually if I get to that point, it's fine because at least in Diamond, I feel that no one really knows how to play versus Skytoss, and it's kind of like an sort of like an A move victory in a
Oh,
way.
I agree with you. It's very true. Yeah. No, it is. If you can get it to that point, yeah, for sure. Um,
Yeah.
how do you feel about PvP? Or what matchup actually do you want to focus on today?
So I feel my PvT is in a pretty good state. Actually, my win rate is the best in PvT because I'm not sure if it's because I'm simply out macroing most people
Okay.
or PvP feels honestly like a huge coin flip. It's like, oh, did I let the two adepts into my base? Oh, I guess I'm more or less dead because they get too far ahead. Or if it's like just hitting your whole army with a disruptor when you're like looking at something else, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's kind of like PvP, I guess there's not really much that can be done. I guess the main focus would be on Zerg because I'm actually the most scared about Zerg because I actually have a really hard time reading what's going on and what's happening when it's like, let's say, is the Roach, is the Roach wearing some things that's basically a defensive reaction because like most tosses go for adepts anyway, and it's like everyone makes like a roach warren, and but sometimes it's basically like, oh, a few roaches, and then it's mainly like hydras or something else,
Yeah. Yeah.
and in other cases it's like this roach max which just overwhelms you.
Yeah. No, it's gonna. That getting a, I would say a build that would be good. If you want to play defensive like reactionary play, would actually be something in the ZVP that would be like Stalker Sentry based to open. Adepts are definitely more on the aggressive side. 100%. And if they open roaches as well, it makes it even way harder to like handle that. So if you go, I would say A good build for you would be, we can develop, like, we will definitely look at one of your replays, we can talk about it, but if you want me to create a build for you, I can, and it could be something that is, just to simply put it, fast, Sentry Stalker based into Disruptors. If you're a comfortable Disruptor, that would be great. And then go into, from there, go into like a Sky transition off of the back of, like, maybe adding in Archons and Charge Lots as well. Like, that'd be huge. That'd be super easy. Like, what you could, that'd be something you could get used to, that you could do every game as a reaction. And the ways you would react is you would stay on the current tech you have longer if you're getting attacked, and you would just tech through your tech lines faster if the Zerg is being greedy, or if the Zerg just got fucking destroyed in a previous attack, and now you can just tech faster.
Yeah, that sounds good. I wouldn't say I'm completely comfortable with Disruptor yet, but it's one of those things where I'm just trying to push myself to actually use them in every matchup, because it's like, when you're behind, it's like the best unit you can have.
Sure. This would be the difference, though, okay? You could use whatever you're more comfortable with, but this is what the difference would be. This is how it would make the most sense. If you do use Disruptor, you could be a little bit greedier about how fast you can pace your tech, because Disruptor can make up the difference, especially if you're going defensively with it. It's way easier to make good shots defensively. You just have to understand the concept as well, if you use Disruptor, about not blowing all of your shots right away. Because the second you have blown all your shots, you no longer have, like, any ammo left to actually punish the Zerg when they dive you. So allowing your base to get hit a bit, and then using a shot when the Zerg really tries to commit is, like, the best time to do it. So in this process, you might lose, like, a gateway or something like that, like, because you're going to be using outer buildings to wall as well. But just not blowing all your shots right away, because if you do and you're like, I shot 3 shots all at once, and I'm like, oh fuck, well now he can just push my base really fast and I can't stop it. So Disruptor basically allows you to be greedier, tech faster. That's all it is. If you don't want to go Disruptor and you want to do something even easier than that, like, just that's more a movie, you can go for Immortals. And the process of Immortal would be, we'll keep you on lower tech a little longer. Like, you'll stay on the aspect of Sentry Immortal Stalker for, like, maybe an extra minute, and then we'll slowly tech. We'll still tech, but at a little bit of a slower pace. But then that army doesn't rely on Immortal shots, or sorry, it doesn't rely on Disruptor shots. It would rely more on just, like, a moving with a couple good force fields. Whatever one you're comfortable with, though, they both work.
Yeah, I guess I kind of want to push myself in the direction of Disruptors, because they're basically usable for any matchup, and it's like a good unit to master. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
we can do it. All right, I guess just, are you on, we can get a replay started. All right, let me ask you this first before we get carried away. Do you want to do a replay analysis, or do you want to just go about this, like, creating something new for you?
Actually, I'm not really sure if I have any good replays.
Okay, that's fine.
To analyze, because for the most part, I actually meet toss or turn. Like, for like the whole day, like 20, 30 games, I meet maybe 1 Zerg or 2, and that's it. And for the most replays, I actually know why I lose. Like, there's hardly ever a replay where I'm like, why did I lose? Because it's most of the time it's like, oh, supply block, oh, didn't make probes.
Yeah.
Basically as simple as that, really.
Okay. All right, we could just make we could make a build then for you, and I can help you practice it for a little bit. I guess now I would just ask you, what server gives you the best latency? Like, I don't know where you're located right now, but if you want me to get on, like, Europe, I can, or if you want to come to NA.
I can. It works either for me. I can go on NA, or you can come on EU.
Okay, I'll go to EU.
Okay.
And then on EU, try to come to channel ViBE, and then you already are. Okay, cool. You're in there already. Hell yeah, bro. You're prepared.
Okay.
All right, and then I'll just make a game. I'll give you an example build, and then we'll talk about it, and I'll have you try to recreate it, and I'll walk you through it while you do it, and then just obviously save the replay, so that you can always. Honestly, what we could do too, if you really want to, since we're going to do this for the entire lesson, I could actually give you both example builds. I could give you the Immortal example if you want to ever go back to that and try that, And I could also give you the disruptor example.
That sounds good.
Okay. So I'll give you both builds first, and then after that, I'll have you just kind of like try it yourself, and then we'll talk about it the whole time. And while I'm doing it too, feel free to interrupt me if I'm mid sentence. You just want to talk. You can start talking, and I'll stop talking. It's all good. But yeah, feel free to ask whatever you want, whenever you want. I'll try to answer as many questions for you as I can. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I should have been a bit more prepared, but I've been pretty busy for the last 2 days.
You're all good, man. No worries. No worries. Like this right here, if you want to work on your ZVP and you want to get something that is up your alley of reactionary play, that's just like something that can develop into the stages of Skytoss, this build's gonna be fucking solid as hell for that. Like super good.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, and the reactions, I would say this. Okay, this is how you react to Zerg. Any Zerg who goes for the ground aspect of things, always have the initial Sentry Stalker, and then that's going to be good for all ground Zergs, and then it doesn't matter what they do. And then you go into Disrupt, like, you know, you have the Immortal version and the Disruptor version, and again, that's still super good. The only way this build will rotate in a way that's not, oh, I need to make more units first, faster, before I tech faster, or I need to, you know, I can tech faster because the Zerg is not going to be aggressive. The only thing that's not going to be like that would be if the Zerg goes for a Spire early and goes for like Mutas. And then if that happens, I would say the only thing you should do to deviate your build or rotate it in a quick way would be maybe get fast blink and maybe add in like a cannon and a battery to your mineral lines faster. That way Mutas don't just wreck your fucking mineral lines repeatedly. And
sorry, go on.
You go ahead, it's all good.
No, finish up. It's somewhat of an unrelated question.
Okay, so that I was going to say, the way you could find out if you're going to be dealing with Spire is based off of your sentries you're going to make early, because those are going to be throwing hallucinated scouts into his base, like, repeatedly, which is going to incorporate reactionary play. So it's not just about how you're getting attacked, it's also about your hallucinated scouts that are going to tell how many drones he has, how much economy the Zerg is actually going for, like what tech he's going for, shit like that. Like, it's going to tell you a lot of information. So it's not all based off of like just how you get attacked. Alright, so we're gonna go 20 Nexus and Core, and then we'll go back to making more probes in a second. What the hell kind of a gateway positioning is this? Okay, whatever. That's kind of a fucked up wall. Like, I think I can salvage that, but it looks awkward. Alright.
So it's gas before pylon, before the second pylon.
Yeah,
right?
The build always goes pylon gate, and then you go up to 20, or pylon gate gas, then you go up to 20, then you build your Nexus and your Core, and then you go back to your base and start making probes again right away, and then you go gas first, and then pylon, because you'll barely not supply block if you do it this way, and it gives you fully fast double gas saturation as quick as possible, and you really, especially with a build like this, you really need that to be able to actually make sentries properly. So in the first example, I'll give you the Immortal example, just okay, and then I'll give you the Disruptor example second. I feel like the Immortal example will actually be easier to understand first. It'll be more reliable, because if you miss scout something, the Immortal example will probably save your ass more often, because it just has a lot of power involved with it. Alright, so now I'm going to make a Robo and a second gate and a shield battery. Yeah, the wall is actually really good. This wall got salvaged. It like barely fit. Alright, now that stalker in the wall is always on hold position. Like always. And then we're going to take gases pretty early this game, because our build is very gas intensive.
But at no point we will be cutting probes, right?
Only at 20. Only at 20.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, obviously.
And then you're going to try your best to maintain pro production for the rest of the time. Shit, I didn't make a pylon. So now we are cutting probes for a second. Shit, bro. That's okay.
Yeah. those two pylons.
Alright. And then now we have double gate. We're going to stay double gate for a little while we start making immortals here pretty soon. And now that the Robo's done, you're really going to, since you're going to be greedy as fuck with this build, and we're going to take a third really fast, you're definitely going to want to chrono boost out immortals, I would say. And it's the same thing with disruptors. As soon as you're ready to make disruptors, chrono boost out those two, and I would say do it up until you have like 3 of them. Because that's going to be like a nice, decent number to like actually keep yourself alive with. So now we're going to make our natural, or I mean our third. And then make sure you make this pylon at this location as soon as possible, and it does not matter what map it is, it always works this way. And the concept is, make the pylon that is going to be on the further exposed side of the nexus so that you can attach gateways to a cover. Like you'll see in a second here. Like you really need to do this as soon as possible for a build to work that is greedy as fuck like this. Because if you don't do this, Zerg will just run your ass over all day. And you'll be like, wow, okay, well, that sucks. And now the second you have the gateway coverage like this, with this kind of a build, I would say you can now move out, like how we're doing right here. And then you can warp in some stalkers or whatever, and you can leave like 1 stalker at home in your wall, just so you don't get fucked by like a run by. And now you have all this like decent coverage to work with your third base. That is like looking way more solid. And keep chrono boosting on immortals. And now, once we're at this stage, I would say now we're going to add in, once we have the third kind of set up, we add in Forge. Against Zerg, I would highly recommend actually going double, or a Council double Forge against Zerg specifically. And now you can see we're getting hit on the base, so now this is when we would just come back. And if you need to, you can always do a shield overcharge, like a battery overcharge on your natural nexus, if you feel like you need to. And then once you have like that third chrono boost on the immortal, and you feel like your immortal count's looking pretty solid, you can go back to making chrono boosted probes for a little bit longer. And now, now we're just literally, now we can do shit like this where we're like throwing out some Hallucinated Phoenix, and this is when, right about now, when you have the Phoenixes going out along the map, this is an important moment. You want to know if the Zerg is going to actually tech to something hard, like for instance a Spire, or if they're going to stay on like Ling, Roach, Ravager styles for longer, like they're going to just power on those kinds of units. Shit, I hope I'm not lagging out.
Yeah, I'm probably. I'm not sure. For the past 2 days, I've been actually having some connection issues, and my net seems to be fine, but only happens in StarCraft.
Shit. Oh, you're back. You're back. All right.
Okay.
So now at this point, I would say you're gonna rotate your chrono boost now. So you're no longer chrono boosting your immortals anymore. And honestly, you're not gonna chrono boost your probes anymore either because you're already fully saturated on your bases. You're looking pretty good here for the 3 base, and now you're gonna like set up a 4th. Now what you should chrono boost is your upgrades. Definitely chrono boost your upgrades. So now you have the ability to go into, you know, faster upgrades so that when you do move out, you'll have way more stable defenses going on, way better. And now we're still making probes, but we're just not chrono boosting them, and we're gonna keep making probes up until we get to like honestly about the 80 mark, which we're getting pretty close to at this point. And then you can do and then honestly, this is why I would always have you make like 4 sentries right away, so you're always gonna have a ton of energy. It's gonna allow you to have the ability to basically you know, constantly scout with Phoenix, so you can just keep getting tabs on the Zerg. And an ideal time to scout would be maybe once every like minute, about once every minute, maybe once every 90 seconds. As long as you can do it, as long as you can keep it going that often, things will look pretty good for you. So that way you're never going to be like blindsided, like, wait, what? Oh shit, the Zerg did something that I didn't realize for the longest time. Now he's got 40 Mutalisk, holy shit, or something like that. And then now with your next base, you can do it again if you want to with gateways. You can put a few gates in front of your base to like make it harder for Zerg to do a run by into your base. Something like this, for instance, here. And then we can put another gateway below the gas as soon as that pylon is done. You'll see in a second. Just making sure like one of this, the outer side of your base is a little bit more of a wall. That's all you're really trying to go for. Like that right there. And now he can't get through that unless he goes around the top. So it just buys your probes more time to not die. All right, and now we have a good probe count. We could literally at this point we're getting ready to actually max here. And right now is when I would say you can start a Stargate. You can start a and then you can start like a few more, like we already have the extra gateways coming down on your fourth, but we're gonna start a few more Stargates in just a second when the first Stargate's done. And it's going to be a process of now switching into Skytoss, but we're going to still max the first time before Skytoss. So now that we're going to get ready to go into Skytoss, there's 2 upgrades you always want to start with this kind of a build. You start, or really 3. You start Charge, you start the Templar Archives Psionic Storm ability, and then you also start +1 weapons on your Cybercore. So now, like, you're going to be going Charge Lot, Air, and Templar for Storm. That's going to be the idea. And now we're basically maxed out. So now is when you can be like, all right, well now I can push around the map here at this point. I can get crazy. When you get ready to push out, always do what I'm doing right now, every single time. This is gonna be a staple of your build. Every base, really quickly, go cannon, cannon, battery, and gap them so you don't block your mineral line like crazy. But just put 2 cannons and a battery in every single base. And then put another base down if you haven't done so already, like we're about to do right now. We'll take like the 5th base below or something. Just get it set up. And then now you can push. And you can also, when you get ready to push, you can do shit like this too, where you can have a Phoenix again go along like every base in the map, just to see what base is the most exposed. And make sure you keep your upgrades going on your forges to 3-3. We're going to be doing shields and weapons because this is going to transition to Skytoss a lot better. It's going to also make your base a lot more sustainable if like mutas do happen, because you're going to have shield upgrades. And then we're going to cannon battery again at your new base. And then you know, once you find out where the bases are that you want to go hit, you can go hit. And then now you can see obviously your Stargate's done. So we're going to add on like an additional like 4 Stargates. And a fleet beacon. So now we're going to go up to like 5 Stargate. 5 Stargates, basically. 5 Stargate Skytoss. With a fleet beacon. So now, as this army starts to die, we can rotate it into now Charge Lot, Carrier, and High Templar. So you can make Archon, Carrier, Storm, and then, you know, then your army is going to be fucking solid. So if you don't kill... a lot of times, I honestly think you might even win the game with this push. There's a good chance you will win the game here, but the transition of you going into Skytoss with a good economy is going to be strong as fuck. So at this point now, it's just about managing probes, making sure your economy doesn't mine out as well. So this is why you're going to be taking a 5th at this point. You could even at this point now as well start a 6th base, shit like that. And then, yeah, we're going to be going in, like I said before, as soon as supply dies, we just replace carrier.
Assuming that, let's say, the Zerg is sitting on some lurkers, a good encampment, basically, which you can't really break. It's like, the transition to the Skytoss, basically, you don't really want to throw your army away. You want to basically to slowly trade it out over time by picking off what you can and replacing the deficit with basically carriers or whatever, correct?
Yeah. Also, keep this in mind too. Let me show you an idea of a way you can fuck over someone who goes lurker really hard. And it would be like this. Let's pretend he has 4 bases, okay? Like my first 4 bases I made, let's pretend he has those. Like he's got the 3 bases in a straight line, and then he's got the other base that he has right now, and the 4th spot. If you have a Zerg who is going lurker, literally just do this. You go like this. You go over here, you poke. Let's say lurkers are there, and so is the Zerg army. You go, okay. You go like this. You go this way. Let's say lurkers are there. You go, okay. Let's try this like a couple times. You go over here. You go, okay, lurkers are here. And then now, let's just say hypothetically, you go like this. You take a chunk of your, or like not even a lot, just a chunk of your army, and you go like this. You poke a different base with it, and then you just poke it. And if is army here, you can always blink away or whatever. If these stalkers die, it's not a big deal. But you can dislodge your opponent sometimes with doing shit like this. And then let's say you poke him again here. And if there's still shit here, you do it again. You keep doing this process where you go back and forth, back and forth. And a lot of times, and if a player will, because you're going to be killing creep too, so he won't see you the whole time exactly where you go, because you'll have an observer. So a lot of times what will happen is the Zerg might move out of position. And if that does happen, or like, it's not even like, I'm not even saying you have to avoid all lurkers, so if there's like one or two who gives a shit, I'm mostly saying if he has an army there with it, like all of his Roach Hydra and shit like that are still there, then you got to be scared, they got to be careful about that. But if you ever catch a base that has minor defense at it, we're talking like 20 supply or something like that, if you go like this and you go, oh look, yeah, there's actually not much here because he's currently out of position just for a second. Just for a second is all it takes. You go like this. And you're like, cool, now you can't fucking defend your base anymore. Even if he has Ravagers, I don't give a shit, because if he breaks those force fields, you can just reapply them. Because 4 sentries is going to have a lot of energy to repeatedly do shit like this. You can cast force fields like 4 different times, and it's only going to take this kind of an army about 5 seconds to kill a base. Because this army has so much DPS against buildings, you will fucking annihilate a base. And then even if you also lose, like, let's say 30 supply in the process of, like, running over 4 lurkers and, like, you know, a little tiny bit of defended base, you then use that supply to replace with, carrier. Diamond definitely cannot do that. Well, all you're doing, literally all you're doing, is you kill what's in your face, right? Like the rocks, so you can run into his base fast. And it's literally the process of going like this. Okay, let's say the stalkers are the Zerg, right? Let's say the stalkers are the Zerg. All you do is you go like this, all right? You're like running around, and you run at him, and you go, oh, he's there. Just fucking back up. If he chases you, if the Zerg literally fucking chases you as soon as you're there, go like that. Block his ass, like don't block him out entirely. Let him chase you, and then trap his ass when he chases you away from his lurkers or something. Then that's just, you then kill his army. You could just push if you want to. But if he's fortified in more of like a defensive posture with lurkers, run to the other base. You don't have to always run to the same one. You could go further out if you want to. Just test the other side, and if you ever see he's not there, or an army, instead of what we saw, like look at what's down here at the bottom right base. That's large. That's a bigger army. But now let's say this is a Zerg army that's at the top one, and you're like, oh look, that's actually a small Zerg army. And you just go like this. You just go to the choke point and block it out and kill what's here. You're just looking for a fight that's advantageous for you, and you can force it to happen because you have force field. That's the whole concept. And you abuse it with force fields. It's better than just running into his entire army, being impatient, going, fuck, Zerg, attack. And then you just like, you run into it and die. So it just makes more sense to do it that way. And then yes, you will always still lose supply here and there, and that's when you replace Skytoss and you just transition to Skytoss. But yeah, anyways, blank picture. How you feel about this? Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and I guess it's partially because I'm most scared of the Zerg, because it's like sometimes of this seemingly weird exponential growth where it's like they max it perhaps because it's of my poor macro, oftentimes, where it's like, oh, they have so much stuff when I have so little.
Yeah.
And and you're always afraid to be like overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually gonna go back in this replay, and I'm gonna give you a quota here about, because I know we let the replay kind of go for a little bit longer because I was giving you examples of micro. But in this game, we maxed. I'll give it, like, just remember this number, and obviously you'll have the replay too that you can always go back to. But this game, with this specific build that I would say was not macroed flawlessly either. Like, we had a couple supply blocks here and there, but we maxed at right about 10 minutes is when we maxed out, and this is including the fact that we got attacked. Like, we had the ability to max right about 10 minutes. We ultimately did max a little bit later because we started making some stack D and we fought some Ravagers for a second. But yeah, right about, if you can max by 10 minutes, then you're like doing well with this build, I would say. because around 10 minutes is also when you're going to have the 4th base up and running. And ideally, I would say also try to make your gates, the extra gates you make after the first 2, try to always make them at your 3rd and 4th. Try to not just fill your main base up with gateways, because this build is more about reactionary greed, not about timing attacks. So putting a bunch of gateways in your main, all that's going to do is make your reactionary greed harder to execute because your probes are going to be more exposed. This build's all about covering your probes essentially, and then you max out fast.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because like if you were all about a timing, then getting your gateways down like as fast as you could, like in your main base, would make more sense because you're gonna doing an attack anyways, and doing an attack also indirectly guards your probes because the Zerg is busy defending himself. But yeah, if you're just gonna sit there until you max out, then yeah, definitely try to build your gateways in a way that's gonna cover the probes for sure. And yeah, a 10-minute max would be great. And then with this build, you don't even set up for Skytoss until you max. Like you make the Stargate when you get close to max, but you literally will max and then you invest into the transition of Skytoss, because investing into the transition of Skytoss is like 1,000 gas and 1,000 minerals. It's expensive as fuck to build the buildings. And also then you also will then start the upgrades, which is like 400. So we're looking at a massive cost of just gas and minerals to get ready to transition into Skytoss. But you can actually afford it when your money is cranking at 80 worker production and you max out, so your money starts banking up. You can then easily build all the transition, and then you actually transition into it as you start to lose supply. So that's the concept of the Immortal. You definitely should have maxed first with Immortal before you transition. With Disruptor, it's a little different. Like I said, you can be a little greedier. It's a little bit more of a risky version, which is why I kind of wanted to give you both examples. This will be more, I honestly feel like, your staple. If you're not feeling like your micro's too hot right now, you can always go back to this one. But now we can jump into the same game, but now we'll do the Disruptor style here. The opener is going to look exactly the same up until 3 bases, but then it's going to kind of change before your 4th base. We're gonna instead of going in Skytoss when you max out, we'll probably go Skytoss when you're like at 150 supply. Like it's going to be a bit faster. And instead of doing a timing, it's going to be more about guarding yourself as you go Skytoss. Because the other thing about it too is, I just want you to answer this question for me really fast, and I'll see if we come to the same conclusion here. If you're going to be a Protoss player and you're not going to attack the Zerg, okay? You're not going to attack the Zerg, and you have disruptors. What is something... Oops, I did not mean to do that. What is something that you think is intimidating that Zerg can do if you just sit there defensively? Like, sit there defensively. But you have disruptors. What do you feel like is scary? Just think about what Zerg can do to you, and think about what you're like, fuck that unit. If something would annoy you in that position.
Well, I guess it's like hive tech. Probably broods.
Okay.
I guess it's like the whole uncontrolled economic growth, where they basically, I grow to like the whole map.
Okay. Don't think about it too much like the economy wise, because just know that if you have a death ball, Protoss is gonna shit on Zerg. Like if you're like, well, I'm the one who's going to death ball, you're fucked. That's how you honestly you should look at the game in a way where you're the one with the win condition, not Zerg, when you're the one who's gonna eventually go Skytoss. Because if you get there, Zerg's fucked. Because you said that as well. You're like, I just win when I get Skytoss. And it's fucking true. No Diamond Zerg knows how to deal with Skytoss. They all just look at it and go, oh, well, I die now. Okay, well, game's over. I guess I'm dead. But if you're developing the Skytoss and you don't have it yet, and also think about this too. If you have disruptors, you're defensive and you have like 6 disruptors, you're able to just be like, shot. 5 seconds, or like 3 seconds later, shot. 3 seconds later, take a shot. And you're just blowing up clumps of Zerg, because again, you're not exposed in the middle of the map. You're defending yourself behind with Static D and like SimCity. But I don't want you to put you on the spot, and you might be like, God damn it, ViBE.
No, it's fine.
But I'll ask you one more time, and then if I'll tell you this time. If but I think you're on the right track with Broodlords. But think more about like the mid game, because if he goes Broods and you go carriers and shit, you're gonna probably crush his ass anyways. But think about the mid game. If you have like Robo plus Gateway and the Zerg has something else, what do you think is the one thing that's the most annoying for you if you go Robotech? So if you have no Lings?
Banes.
Okay.
Lings or Banes, maybe.
But yeah,
I know you're totally fine. You're totally fine. It's all good. I would say that would be annoying if you didn't have SimCity and you were already in a defensive position. Because if you were like caught in the middle of the map and he does a run by on your workers, you're like, fuck my life. I get that. But I would say Spire, it was the right call, and Mutalisk would be the one that would annoy the fuck out of you. And you're just like, oh, cool, every mineral line just gets wrecked as I'm sitting here turtling on Disruptors and Stalkers. And I don't have enough Stalkers in all the right spots at all the right times, and I'm just losing my economy repeatedly. That would be the one that would be fucking annoying. But with this build, with Disruptor, you're actually not going to do a timing. You are not going to attack the Zerg. You are just going to sit there and defend yourself. Which is why we're going to do a Stargate transition faster. So if the Zerg does ground-based all-ins, you have access to sentries if it happens really early, and you have access to disruptors if it happens more in the mid-game where it's more Hydra-based or like Roach Ravager-based. So you have access to great counters to a all-in timing Zerg still, but then you have the ability to max out on Skytoss like much faster than you were with the other build, because it's going to be more about going to that transition quicker. So you're going to be able to deal with Zergs who just rush mutas at a quicker pace now. So that'll be the concept of this build. You just transition into Skytoss at a bit faster. So if you're like, oh fuck mutas, oh well it's okay, I have carriers. Cool, like bye mutas. And then you're also going to be sitting over cannon battery. So if it's also a fast corruptor, which it probably won't be, but for whatever reason, if it was, you'd have stalker, cannon, battery, carrier to handle corruptor, ideally. Unless you know, that's assuming you're able to defend yourself and you haven't just broken apart to pieces. But again, just know that this build is the harder one to do. This is the harder version of what we're teaching you right now. So if you're like, you know what, this build's too fucking intense right now, you can always fall back to the Immortal one.
no, I'm fine with challenging myself, and I'm trying to push myself to actually be faster and try harder things.
Alright. So now we have our same thing. And again, it's going to be the same thing up until the 3 bases get saturated.
Meanwhile, I had actually another question.
Sure.
So a few times I have actually died to 3 hatchling floods.
Yep.
Where it's basically they don't really fully saturate their natural, and it feels like even if you send out your first whatever adept,
yeah,
oftentimes it already gets caught by the lings and it's basically pushed back, and the lings hit you just out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not actually sure how do you actually scout for that.
You don't need to with this build. That's why I'm making you make 4 sentries every time and a shield battery that's blind. It'll counter that. Because you make 4 sentries early, which is going to completely fuck over every Zerg all-in that they can do really early with low economy. Every single one of them is going to get fucked. Because it makes your battery have a lot of time to buy to heal your units for real. And then you also buys you time to actually make units that it will kill the Zerg faster as well. And you'll just crush the Zerg when they do shit like this. Because the last thing you should be doing is you should be dicing the Zerg up with force fields. So allow like a tiny chunk to get into your base. Don't just have the idea of I gotta lock everything out all the time. Like allow a little bit to get trapped in your base, and then kill the remainder. And do that repeatedly every time, and then you will always dice the Zerg up and kill them over time. But the 4 sentries you make early is going to allow you to have tons of force fields. So even if they have Ravager, you can always reapply a force field. And then the build is always going to be, the second your natural's done, is right around the time you're going to be adding on your second gate and your Robo. So like right about now, you have your first Stalker should be done. Your probes are starting production again. You can chrono boost your Nexus for your probes. You go second gate, you go battery, And then in your main base, you get a Robo. Don't put your Robo at your natural, I would say, because it's more exposed to that pylon. And there you go. And now, and again, we're going to be going up to halfway saturated on the mineral line, and we're going to be going for double gas, which is going to allow you to afford your Robo stuff and also your sentries at the same pace. And you're going to be taking your double gas on both builds. Again, both builds are identical up until 3 bases. But you take double gas around 8 probes on the mineral line. Kind of boost your natural again.
Oh no.
You're all good, man. If you drop, I can always just give you the replay as well. I can send it to you.
Yeah, it should be fine. I'm actually not sure why is this happening. Like, it started happening like 2 days ago.
Yeah, maybe your ports got changed some way or something with StarCraft, what they allow. I don't know. It's annoying when this happens, I agree. 'Cause it's, you're just like, God damn it. There you go, you're good. Alright, and then now the Robo is about to finish. And we're making our last 2 sentries. And now, if like you were going to get all in, you would probably be getting all in right about the time when these sentries would be finishing. Like roughly around there. So you would have the ability now already to be going for double gateway production off the back of some force fields and a shield battery that can still be overcharged. Which is insane how strong that is. Okay, and then now we can take a probe, and we can, you know, like if you get all in and you can't take your next base, you could just hold the all in and then eventually take your third. Or if the Zerg is really, really all in and you're just not losing economy, you could always decide, oh, I could just counterattack and kill him now after I defend it. You do always also have that option. If the Zerg is like just killing himself repeatedly on your wall. So that's how you can also react to Zergs. So you like just skip all the future steps and just kill them now, if they're super all in. So now our third base is getting set up, and we're starting our gates. We're going to do the 3 gates again, just like last time. And now this is when the build rotates from what it was before to what it will be now. So the disruptor build changes. So now instead of making immortals and, you know, for a long time, we're starting to already make disruptors. And instead of going all the way to Templar tech right away, we're going to go to carrier tech right away. So, but we're not going to make carrier tech, though, until we have a saturated third. But again, this build's very gas intensive, so we can start making gases already. At the third. We can rotate down to the third, and we can leave 1 stalker in the doorway just like before.
So you got your bay before your third, is that correct?
Yeah, I did. And that's going to help you if you get all in. We like rushed the tech of our Robo Bay pretty fast. Okay, and then just keep making units. And then we can saturate our gases at our third. And now I would say would be a good time to start a Stargate. Once you have the third base kind of getting under saturation, it's underway. It's looking pretty good right now. So, and look, we're getting, let's just be like, oh, it's an all-in, cool. And disruptor shots are here. Like, you know, if that was like a more aggressive Zerg, you have access to force field, you have access to stalker, you have access to disruptor. It'll make your life really way easier to defend shit like that. And then regardless of if the Zerg does or does not attack you, you should be trying to go for a 4th base always right around the time when your 3rd base is fully saturated. And that should usually be right after like 4 minutes or so. And now we can see our Stargate's just about done in the main base. And the trade-off is we did not make Double Forge, and we did not make a Twilight Council. We made a Stargate. And now we're going to go into a Fleet Beacon and more Stargates. And let's go up to like 4 Stargates in total. So now we actually do have the Skytoss transition going up really fucking fast this game compared to last game. Like last game, it was not nearly as fast. But now we don't have Blink and we don't have upgrades. We don't have +1, none of that stuff. But again, that's why this is a trade-off. This relies more on disruptor shots to keep you alive early on, but then Skytoss explodes really fucking fast. So now that we're going into Skytoss, we can now start. Let's actually start a 1 Forge now, because we've already invested the cost into the Fleet Beacon and all the Stargates. We can now start a Forge and a Council. We can start +1. So we can get ready to eventually get +1 weapons, or we can get shields on the ground. And then we can also get charge for Zealots. But now we're already starting carriers. We are already starting carriers. And now that we're going to start carriers, this is when you stop making Stalkers. Okay? No more Stalkers. And you can still start a few gateways at your expansion at the 4th base, just like you did before, just to be extra safe. So the gateways is still the same about how you build them and stuff like that, just to guard your probes, make your life easier. But we are making carriers super fucking fast. And then keep chrono boosting your upgrades, and if you have extra chrono boosts, chrono boost your carriers and your weapons upgrade on your core. Do not chrono boost shields. Do not chrono boost charge. Those are not your priority. Your priority is Skytoss. So only chrono boost Skytoss related stuff. And now that you're done saturating your bases, you can also now start making your excess minerals can go into cannon battery like we did before. Just in case mutas are a thing this game, we have access to, you know, being able to hold that shit off in a better way. And lastly, what we can also do is we can also start around this time. You can start a mothership. And now, if, you know, and you can, I would say, try your best to keep making disruptors till you're in some range between 4 and 6. You're not gonna, like, if you get to all the way to 6, that's, you know, that's plenty. If you stop around 4, that's also fine. We're gonna stop us this time. I would say just probably stop around 4. You really don't need to go to 6. Like, but if you do, definitely stop there. You don't want to just make disruptors non-stop forever, because once you get carriers to a decent amount, disruptors kind of become irrelevant. You don't need them anymore. You just need them to guard yourself until you get the carriers. And we're going to be maxing out roughly around the same time again as the other build. It's just, again, this one is a little bit riskier. And now you can, I would say you can definitely go out and start like a 5th base again or something like that. And now we could, you know, start throwing in some zealots if we needed to or whatever. Keep chrono boosting your upgrades. Like your weapon upgrades on your core. Always chrono boost that as much as possible, and then extra chrono boosts can go into your carriers themselves. And yeah, I mean, we should be we are basically maxing by roughly 10 minutes. So it's roughly about the same timer as the previous. And we're going to have cannon battery at all of our bases. Each base should have about 2 cannons and a battery just to be safe. And then now, once you max out with your whole army, you can now... This is when I would say, this is the tricky part, okay? Do not push with your carriers. Push with everything that is not disruptor and is not carrier. So you can go select the army, attack his base, and then be like, hey, carriers, don't go. Hey, disruptors, don't go. And even if you, I'm being dead serious now, even if you do not micro this army, I wouldn't give a shit. If you just let all these units go die, that would be fine. And the reason why this is important is because you do not want to push with an anti-timing before you are level 3 weapons and before you have good upgrades on your, like, your, you know, or before you have a good carrier count. You just, I would say, just let this army die. Let's pull it back now. Let's just assume it would die, okay? I'll kill it myself with disruptors to make this go faster. But let's just say you barely killed anything as Zerg and your whole fucking army died and you're like, ah, well, that didn't go as good as I wanted to. Well, that sucks. Or whatever. You're like, okay, that could have went better. It's okay. Because, again, you're defensive with disruptors and you're defensive with carrier. So you will not die right now. You're not like, oh, well, this is about as worse, the worst as it could possibly be. Yeah, it's fine because you can easily max out again. And if you don't have enough gas to fully max on carrier, make another round of zealots. Do a run by. Just send it across the map. Just be like, hey, zealots, go attack. Go attack again. Keep the Zerg busy. It just repeatedly be annoying as fuck with zealots. This is why you get charged at this point, because it allows you to do shit like that. And let's say the zealots run across the map and they all die again. But what they do is they buy you time because the Zerg stays defensive and you are able to maximize more of your gas. And now suddenly you're chrono boosting, you're chrono boosting, you're chrono boosting. And now once you have like level 3 weapons underway, you have double-digit carrier counts of not only having like 8, now you have like 14 or 15. Then you can push And also, let's say finally you can now be like, well, I'm actually able to max out on carriers, and I'm not really worried anymore. The final thing you could do would be, I would say, okay, send out your disruptors and just let them go die, because they got you to the point that you need to be. You're no longer needing to worry about getting flooded by hydras or something. And now you can actually max on carrier, Templar, Mothership, Storm, and Archon. And now this is the true death ball. This is like God mode Protoss. And disruptors get replaced by Templar because they're just better at this point, because you can also storm air units like Corruptor. Disruptors can't do anything to Corruptor. And Storm and Disruptors both shit all over Hydras. So Templar is just better than Disruptor. And I would never tell you to micro both because that's hard as fuck. And now this army right here, this is your God mode army. And you get it so fucking fast. And now you can go back to your base, and if you really want to now, you could be like, alright, well, just to make sure we're on the safe side, I can take like another base so I can transfer my probes that mine out. I could also start making maybe like, instead of having 2 cannon battery per base, you could have, oh no, the Templar. Instead of having 2 cannons per base, you could have something more along the lines of like 6 cannons per base. You could just ramp up the cannons because you're definitely going to get a lot of money. And then if you ever lose any of your supply, you could always remake Zealots. If you don't have enough supply open in the Stargates, like if they're all busy, you can always also add in Zealots to just do charge lock counterattacks and be annoying as fuck.
Do you actually, when you're like maxed out, do you still want to, even you have like enough minerals and gas in the bank, do you still want to get like ground upgrades?
You do, yeah. So you're always,
okay.
what you're gonna, since this build is as Skytoss focused, it's, don't worry about ground upgrades of this build for the Zealots, because all the Zealots are, is drone killers or time buyers. They either buy you time to make more Skytoss, or they kill drones. So if they're killing drones, it doesn't matter if they kill drones with +1, +2, +3 weapons. If they get to a base that's not defended, they're going to kill drones either way. But they're really, all they're doing is buying you time to make Skytoss. That's all they're doing. The real power of your army should be shield upgrades and weapon upgrades for air, because it's going to make your army, your actual army, stronger. It's going to make your real push stronger. And then once you actually have level 3 shields on the forge, you can go back into getting weapon upgrades on the ground to then actually increase the power of like your Archons and your charge lots that do run-bys. Later, if the game doesn't end there and it continues all the way like 20 minutes or 25 minutes, you could then be 3/3 shields and weapons for ground too. But you get level 3 weapons on air at like 13, 14 minutes. And you can have level 3 shields on air by like 15, 16 minutes. So what the shields do that's so important over the ground upgrades is because you're not making Robo units that have an auto attack, you're making disruptors which do not have an auto attack. They do not get upgraded by weapon upgrades. It means nothing really if you're basing your whole defense off of disruptor defensive play. So it actually makes your defensive play more sturdy when you're just guarding yourself, rupture shot, because all of your buildings last longer as well. Because they all have armor as well, like the level 3 shield upgrade as well. So your base is just more durable, faster. And the counterpart was what I said earlier when I was like, what's the most annoying thing that can fuck you over? Mutas. Mutas are going to ruin your fucking life with Robo openers. They just will. But if you have shield upgrades and also carriers coming out faster, suddenly less carriers can deal with mutas a lot more effectively, because the supplement is you have cannons. You still have stalkers too, but you have cannons that last longer. You have shield batteries that last longer because they have shield upgrades. And then you have carriers that can just get around your base, and with Stalker that can actually get to bases before probes die because you have shield upgrades. Like the shield upgrade is going to change everything about how effective the mutas are. Because shield upgrades get triple benefits against muta, because muta's bounces get reduced each time by the shield upgrade. So the initial shot gets reduced, the first bounce gets reduced, and the second bounce gets reduced from muta each time by a shield upgrade. So mutas are going to feel like crap unless the Zerg upgrades weapons as well. But you can get shields faster than what Zerg can get weapons because you can chrono boost your shields. So like, just the point I'm trying to make here is it's going to make your life so much easier at dealing with harass, which is the only way this build's going to suffer. Because if you max out on Skytoss like we have right here, I guarantee you can A-move a Zerg in Diamond, and you'll be like, oh, I could literally get up off my chair right now and go get dinner and come back, and I'll come back to a victory screen. Like, that's what it would... Honestly, this army's like. Once you get to this stage, you just win. Because Zergs don't know how to handle this army in Diamond. But obviously, if you're actually going to be here, you can always, like, time warp it. You can use Storm. You can actually do stuff with it. But the whole thing about Carrier is it's one of the most A-movable armies in the whole game. It is very self-sufficient. But yeah, everything makes sense? You have any questions about it?
No, everything makes sense. It's pretty much clear.
Okay. But yeah, just definitely, I would say save both of those replays. I know people are going to ask about it, so I'll save them both as well. And I'll put them in Discord as well. But yeah, man. I mean, if you can just know this, okay? These are the big elements of this build. These are the big elements of this build. Number one is make sure you understand. You know what? Actually, before we do this, I'm gonna do one thing for you really fast. I want to... I wonder if I can make this game with you. Can I make this game? I can. Alright, go ahead and join this. And I'm gonna help you understand the concept really fast of how to micro your sentries. Because the only thing I feel like you're gonna struggle with if you don't do it properly is your sentries. If you fuck this up, your whole build will fall apart. Or okay, I don't know if it kicked you out of the game, but it's okay. Just for this moment, I would say just look at the stream, just because this is a visual example anyways. It's totally fine.
Yeah, for some reason it's saying it's entering the lobby.
Okay, it's all good. We'll do that. Well, I'll show you this last example, and then we'll wrap up. But now check this out. All right, so we're gonna have a Protoss simulated base example of like what it would look like if you were gonna get all in by a Zerg. And then Zerg will have like speedlings and shit.
Research complete.
So I would say the numbers of units we have right now are pretty realistic as to what you probably would have as well in a defense. Oh, I can't make a fucking shield battery in this. What the hell kind of version is this? Can I even make a Ravager? I can't make a Ravager. Okay, this is like a Wings of Liberty version. Whatever, it's okay. Like, the one you're probably going to be the most afraid of anyways, I feel like is going to be the Speedling Floods. So that'll be what we'll talk about anyways. But like, let's just say you're defending this, okay? I mean, this will definitely be easier with the battery. I'll definitely throw that out there. But if you're dealing with the Zerg, right? And the Zerg is like trying to bust you down. Let's just say it's a pure Speedling Flutter kind of a guy. The ideal way to obviously fight against pure Speedlings would be something that looks like this. You'd be like, oh look, the Zerg's here. And then you would put your mouse, the crosshair, directly on the point between your Lings and the Stalker, and it shoves them away like that. You can see where the mouse pointer is. You can dice the units up that way, and as soon as you do it, you can save your unit, and you can just reapply it. Every time it's about to go down, you reapply a new one, and you're good to go. You would actually lock them out if it's pure Zergling, okay? That would be the goal there for that. Now, if it was going to be something else, now let's talk about if it was like a roach-based, like a roachling, like less lings, but it has roaches as well. Instead of actually blocking everything out, you don't want to block everything out this time. The concept has changed a little bit, because if you block everything out, he can just back the lings up and let the roaches continue to kill your base, like your wall. And then it's going to be harder to deal with the roaches this way because you're going to get less surface, like less uptime damaging his army. So if it's something like this, I'm going to let the Zerg just A-move this again, like most Zergs will. But this is how you ideally would deal with this as Protoss, okay? If you identify, oh, it's Roach and Ling, this is how you would deal with it, right here. You'd be like, okay, Roaches and Lings are coming to my base. And you're like, okay, oh, Roaches are here too. You could back up and go trap the Lings inside your base, like some of them. And you get kills now You get guaranteed damage on his army, and then if he backs up, when this happens, he loses chunks of his army, but if he doesn't back up, and he tries to come in your base, you can dice his army up like this. And always do guaranteed damage to him little by little by little by little. And if you ever see an opportunity where Zerg is just stupid and is like never leaving, you can go like that. And you can hold him in place by being like, cool, well now you can't leave at all. Because you never left the ramp, and now I can hold you out there. And I can just repeatedly do this to you. Where I can push you into the corner here. And stuff like that. Like, that's how you would ideally deal with someone who would go for, like, roachling. You always let chunks of it in, kill it, and then lock out the majority. Like, let 25 or, like, 10 to, like, 25% in, and then kill the outer, like, let the other part of it just stay out. Because he needs to attack you either way, but you just don't want to lock all of it out all the time, because it is, ranged based as well, so it can just sit out there and kill your base as well if you let it do that. Melee, however, is the melee is like, it has to take full damage to do damage to you, so it doesn't have the ability to have like further range on you. And then, you know, that's the concept of how you would deal with melee based or ranged based all-ins. Does that make sense, the concept there?
Yeah, it does. I had a follow-up question on that. So what about Ravagers? Let's say instead of like being forced into like this small choke, they start just chipping away at your wall.
So Ravagers are something that you can punish with stalkers. Yeah. Like, you can poke them with stalkers. And then, because Ravagers are actually surprisingly squishy. They're not as tanky as Roaches are. Basically, you can poke them with your stalker. And if the Ravagers push forward, you can always back up, back to your wall, your battery area, and you can always force field as well if he floods you with lings, shit like that. But if he doesn't flood you with lings, you can always just pot shot him, poke him with your stalker, and you can actually kill the Ravagers over time this way. Just poke him. If he just sits there trying to crucify your buildings, just poke him repeatedly as well, and his Ravagers will be squishy as shit by the time he breaks into your base. That's all you would do. Do not like charge him though. Do not run everything out of your wall and be like, let's take a fucking fight, because you're gonna die then. If you allow your army to get so far out there that all of your army is gonna get like surrounded by speedlings, and he's just gonna hold you there with Ravagers and speedlings, that's gonna fuck you over. Just basically the concept is you attack him, and the second you attack him, you already back up. And then if he doesn't flood you with lings, you poke him, you back up. If he doesn't flood you with lings, you poke him, you back up. Repeat this process. And then if he does flood you with lings, you're always backing up, and now this time you keep backing up, and you're in your doorway. You're back in your choke point. So then he commits with lings, you kill lings, and then if he backs up lings, you repeat the process. That's all it is. You always back up though. You don't wait for him to make the move. You preempt it that it's going to happen, and if it doesn't happen, you repeat the process.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because like if you ever just wait for it and you're like, well, he's not flooding, so I'll keep pushing. Well, what's going to happen then is he's going to surround you when you overextend every single time. But if you always know, that's what's the scary aspect, is it takes Ravagers time to kill your building, and what is he killing your buildings for with Ravagers? It's to flood you with lings. So I'm going to poke his Ravagers every time he tries to poke my buildings down. A Ravager, I'm going to let you know right now, if you successfully do this, Ravagers don't last long as buildings do, usually. Especially if you can overcharge a battery and heal the buildings.
Okay, I guess I will have just... It's just one of those things which I will have to see in practice and see if I run into any trouble. So. Yeah.
It would be like I wish I could make Ravagers in this game. Unfortunately, I can't. But I'll show you just one more time. It would, just for micro purposes, it would look something like this, literally. Like if you had if there were Ravagers like out here, just kind of like poking your buildings with biles, you could go like this. You'd go, attack, back up, attack, back up, attack, back up, attack, back up. Every time. A Ravager is not going to last that long. It will die relatively fast. And if... Also, this is the old Stalker, too, that hits weaker. Like, this is just literally a Wings Liberty version. Stalkers actually hit harder than this nowadays. Now, again, if you are, you know, dealing with a guy who's also going to Ling Flood, if one of the times you go like this, you back up, and suddenly you see Lings charging up the ramp with you, you'll already be running back into your wall, so you'll be good to go. And if you go, oh cool, like Lings are charging me, you could always be like, okay, thanks for the Lings. And now you trap the Lings. And then you could kill them. And then if you see the orange corrosive bile animation under the force field, you should be expecting that, okay? Always think the second you cast a force field, if a Ravager is going to corrosive bile, he's going to corrosive bile one of two spots. He's either going to hit that force field, or he's going to hit your army. It makes more sense that he would hit your army if he was already surrounding you. It makes more sense that he would shoot the force field if his units are just going to die if he doesn't do that. Like, if you trap him and he's like, well, fuck, okay, well, now all my Lings are dead. What's he going to probably do? He obviously can't surround you because he's stuck in a really bad spot. He's probably going to try to free the Zerglings. So if you kind of just understand the concept of what makes sense in that location or in that time, you can kind of, it's easier to know where the corrosive bile is going to be. And if you physically see it as well, you know where you're looking and you go, oh, yep, there it is. I see it. The second the bile ends, or the second you see the bile come down and hit it, which is a 2-second duration between when it gets cast to when it lands, you go force field. You go, oh yeah, there's a bile going on the force field right now. And the second it smashes into it, you go, reapply. Just reapply it right away. And he can't, then he's on cooldown, and he can't actually cast a corrosive bile again. You can actually just reapply the force field, and you can kill his Lings or whatever if you trap them. You can reapply as many times as it takes, for as many biles as it takes. And most players in Diamond will not have the foresight to stagger biles to free units. Most players will go one bile and that's it, or they'll go bile, like spam biles. Like they'll do one or the other. They do not, most people do not, like most people even in Grandmaster don't even stagger biles. To anticipate players doing what I just told you to do, which is anticipate him to bile it and then you just re-force field it. Most people don't anticipate that. They really don't. So just know you always have the ability to reapply a force field the second a bile breaks it, if you need to maintain whatever you're doing. If you're currently fucking him over essentially by killing units, you can always reapply it immediately.
Okay. I guess I will just have to see how it goes in practice.
Yeah, but just know 4 sentries is the magic number, okay? 4. That's the magic number. 4 is going to give you a good amount of energy that is going to be able to scout the Berserk with periodic hallucinated Phoenix. 4 is also a really good number to have a durable amount of force fields to use when you get all in. More than 4 puts you more in the territory where you're going to be kind of all in with it, where you would probably need to go do a timing to make it worthwhile. In less than 4, you're going to run out of energy way too fast when you get all in. To be, if like, let's just say you sent out a couple scouts recently to go scout the Zerg, and you're like, oh shit, he's actually all-inning me now, and I just used some hallucinated Phoenixes. Now I have literally 2 force fields and I'm burnt out. Like, that could totally happen too if you have like 2 sentries or something, and you're like, well, fuck, that's not good. 4 is just a really, really, really good number to be safe, but also be able to still tech really fast, and like, you know, not be stuck into like a shitload of gas and sentries. And then just go Stalkers after that until you're ready to switch into your other tech, whether it be all the way to max out and then go Skytoss if you go Immortals, or all the way until you're like around 130, 140 supply, and then you start suddenly switching into Skytoss. And then instead of making Stalkers now, you can make Zealots instead. But always know that when you go Skytoss, you now start pairing that with Zealots, not Stalkers, no matter what. It's just that it pairs with, Skytoss pairs with Zealots in the Immortal example when you are maxed out, because you don't make Skytoss until you max out. Because that one's all about doing a timing with your ground army first and then switching to Skytoss. But the other one's all about going to Skytoss as fast as possible, and then you never move out with Skytoss itself until you max with Skytoss. Which is why I told you to sacrifice your army in the other example, because you have no ground upgrades anyways. That army sucks dick. It's literally just about getting you to Skytoss safely.
Okay, I will probably study the replays and see.
Yeah, for sure.
Which one feels better to me, and I will probably get another lesson probably in a month or so, and I'll probably have some replays by then.
Okay.
So
that sounds good. Last thing I'll say, and then this is the final point. Just know, either style you do, do not attack with Skytoss until you have max Skytoss. Like literally, you can send zealots. You can trade out units on the ground. You can send out your disruptors. You can send out your immortals and stalkers. All that shit. You can send those out to do whatever damage they can, and they can die, and that's fine. Do not attack with carriers until you max on it. Because if you ever attack with carriers, when you have like 4 of them or 7 of them, and especially as well if they don't even have max upgrades yet, that is going to be an army that has a very high chance of dying. And then if it dies, you just reset yourself to have to start over again. And carriers exponentially grow in strength versus Zerg. Especially Zergs who do not understand how to micro against it. And I'm guaranteeing you right now, nobody in Diamond does. The only chance you're going to ever give people in Diamond League to beat this build is if you throw your army away in small chunks. That is the Skytoss-based version of it. So the whole point of what you should be doing is getting to Skytoss safely, and then once you're there, do not leave your base, defend yourself on Cannon, Battery, and Skytoss until you're ready to move out, and the time that you are ready to move out is this exact number of units. Like 15 plus carriers, a mothership, a couple of observers, like 6 to 8 Templar, high Templar, so you can storm shit. And then if you want to as well, maybe add in like 3 or 4 Archons. And again, just put them in your carrier group so they are moving with your carriers. And that's it. That's all your army is. If you get to that composition, that is the God mode death ball. That is when you would want to push out. Do not push out with smaller bits of it. Like, do not push out with a 46 supply of Skytoss. That is fucking awful. That is how you will throw the game away.
So, if I'm assuming in some scenario, if I'm maxed out on Skytoss, but my upgrades are lagging behind, should I be waiting on them?
No. If you max out on Skytoss, if you have like that the composition I just said, but you have like level 2 weapons on air, and you have like level 1 shields, I'd say, yeah, go for the timing. It's okay. Go attack. But I would say, but in the future, try to remember to chrono boost your upgrades better, and try not to neglect that. But still, go. The condition to win the game is the supply of the army, not the upgrades of the army. But the upgrades of the army does definitely increase the power. Hardcore upgrades are massive for carriers. But yeah, you should still attack if you were maxed out. If you have like 15 plus carriers.
Okay.
Just don't attack though if you have like again, seriously, it's if you're like, well, I'm gonna attack with like 30 zealots and like 6 carriers, and you're like, oh, I lost everything because the Zerg has a lot of corruptors and roaches. Oh, fuck me. I'll be like, oh, it's dumb. Why did you attack with those 6 carriers? Like, don't ever do that. Do not ever attack with the small Skytoss army, because it's just expensive as fuck and it needs to be built up to be good. And you're just preventing yourself from getting to the point to where it is good if you keep throwing chunks of it away before it's ready to be actually good. That's the biggest concept to understand about Skytoss. So, and then it just know it's so easy to defend yourself if the Zerg is like all in with Hydras and you're like defend with Skytoss. It's so easy to not die if the Zerg does it early, because you'll have either sentries and immortals and stalkers and shit like that, and then you'll have that strong army, or you'll have disruptors with the other example to defend yourself. And then when you throw those armies away and you go pure Skytoss, the bigger the carrier count gets, the faster Zerg armies just get shredded and deleted. So, and then especially if you're fighting over battery cannon as well.
I guess the final question, this is a bit more situational. Assuming you're being starved and you're some supply away from being like maxed out, do you still sit on?
Yeah, you would try to secure an expansion and sit there. Yeah, you would not attack him.
Okay.
Because the army gets exponentially stronger the bigger it gets. So if you force the Zerg to fight you defensively, whereas now what happens, some of the army of Zerg starts getting stuck on an assimilator. Some of it starts shooting a pylon. Some of it starts shooting a gateway. Some of it starts shooting a nexus. Not everything is fighting your army, but your army is fighting his entire army because you're not shooting your own buildings, obviously. So you actually no, it's like just indirectly, your army always gets stronger because the Zerg gets bad positioning if he's attacking you in your base. He's not always going to have perfect fights. And then on top of that, if you have cannons and batteries, that increases the power, again, of your army defensively because those cost no supply, but they increase the power of how long you can last with batteries and the DPS of your army with cannons. Like, it's always better to max. You should never be in a situation where it's like, you know what? I have 3 carriers, and I haven't been able to expand. Let's fucking attack. If you do that, you're just going to die. You might as well just leave the game because chances of you winning that game are like 1%.
Okay, that makes sense, more or less.
Yeah, like the point is securing expansions, and realistically, the real answer I would give you is if you can't secure expansions, it's probably not going to be a Skytoss problem. It's probably going to be a micro problem or a macro problem based off of your sentry usage or just how you macro, because most of the time, if you're getting starved out, that's before you even have Skytoss.
Yeah, that's true. Like, most of the issues are actually micro or macro, mostly related.
Yeah, because the whole point of developing Skytoss is you already have 3 bases. And having 3 bases, at the very least, is very realistic to max out with Skytoss on. Just know this, okay? This is the final thing I'll say. If you're going to go for the Immortal example, do not fucking transition to Skytoss before you max. Or else you will sometimes run into Zergs who will run your ass over. Because it's way too expensive to get shield upgrades and ground weapon upgrades and get blink and get charge and also go Skytoss and all this shit at the same time. And also make Archons and make Stalkers and make Immortals. Because you don't stop at like 4 or 6 Immortals. You make like Immortals until you max out. Which means you might have like 8 or 9. Like, it's expensive to do this, so you do max out first. So you just know that. That's a maxed out example, and then you switch. But if you go for the disruptor side of things, you stop making disruptors earlier. You do not get blink. You do not get ground upgrades. You skip all these aspects of the build, and then you switch to Skytoss faster, which is also why you don't do a timing attack. Instead, all you do is you trade out supply on the ground once you already max to free up room for Skytoss. So you're like, well, I don't need the Stalkers anymore. Go die. I need to make carriers again. And then if you get attacked then, who gives a shit? Because you're trading out useless supply at that point for better supply.
Okay.
All right. So, feeling good? Makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. Just have to brainstorm this myself a bit and look at the replay and take it all in.
Yeah, and save for sure. Save the replays so you have a quota, like a guide, and both builds max out about 10 minutes, roughly. Like, if you can do 10-minute maxes on either one, you're doing a great job. Every minute you're delayed from that, you know, obviously that's something to work on, but 10-minute maxes for both of these is fucking great. And for anyone else who's listening right now that's like, I want these builds, I'll be putting them in Discord in the replay analysis section. So just go there and you can just download them yourself. They're free. You don't have to pay anything for that. And then also for you, for Mr. Blank Picture, I will be uploading this as well to YouTube. So I'll send you the VOD by probably tomorrow. So you can watch it again as well if you want to.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, good luck. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, you too. Thank you as well.
All right, have a good day, bro. And
yeah, you too.
I'll see you later. See you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Sir Astral, thank you for the sub, dude. Appreciate the prime. Thank you. And AOD, thank you very much for the 8-month sub, dude. Hell yeah. And Kayliha, thank you for the tier 1 as well. Much love, guys. Everybody watching on YouTube and all that stuff, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this as well. If you guys found it interesting, informative, insightful, I have lots of other guides as well throughout my YouTube channel. I also on Twitch. I have a Twitch channel. You can check that out too if you're interested. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Good luck to all you players out there. And don't worry, Zergs who are like, fuck you, ViBE, for making this Protoss guide and how to shit on Zerg. There's plenty of Zerg examples as well to how to play Zerg as well. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take it easy. Good luck. Much love. Peace out, guys. Later.